Welcome to today's Daily Fire. Today's topic is this: why do you do what you do? Sit back and relax, and welcome to today's show. So, this conversation about why we do what we say or why we do what we do, like, why do we do that? Like, why do we do the certain things that we do? And I'm not talking about maybe what you think I'm talking about. I'm talking about the bigger why. Like, why does it matter? Like, why do you spend the time building a life for yourself? Like, why do you go to work? Why do you try to make money? Why do you go to church? Why do you try to connect with God? Why do you do all the things you do? And if you are married and you have children, that answer tends to be the exact same for every single one of us, right? And it is, especially as us guys out there, we do it for them, right? We do it for the queens. We do it for them. We fight. We will work hard. We will put in extra hours. We will sacrifice our own needs so that their needs can be met. We do all this work so that we can put a roof over our wife and our daughters and our sons' heads, and we put food on the table, and all this stuff is a big sacrifice. And we will grow and pursue, and it's this balance. It's kind of an ebb and flow balance, but this is like why we're here, right? It's why we do what we do, and this is why we get married. We get connected with another person, and like, I don't know why, but today, as I've been just reflecting on life, and I look at my why and why we do this, like, I just realized how fragile life is. Life is super fragile. It can be taken from you just like that. And every single one of us is going to get to a point in our life where we're not here anymore. We're going to have our last day. We're going to have our last sunset. We're going to have the last breath. Right? There is going to be a last I love you to your wife and your kids. There's going to be a last hug. There's going to be a last goodbye. There's going to be the last time you drive a car. There's going to be the last time. There's, like, I think that's what makes this life so beautiful and pure and precious, is because there's an opportunity every single day that this is the last. Like, this is it. This is that moment. This could be the last one. And I think as we get a little bit older, we start to see that a little clearer. Right, when you're young, you're in your teens, especially in your 20s, even your 30s, life is still seems like it's going to go on forever. And as you start to get in your 40s and 50s, you start to realize that, hey, life actually is. I'm getting closer to the point at which, I was talking to my mother-in-law 2 weeks ago. She was here visiting, and I was talking to her, and I was just asking, I'm like, what's it like? Because she's almost 80, and her husband is 80, and he just turned 80 this year. And I was like, what's it like knowing that you could die at a point, like, and this would be, the world would say, hey, you lived a good life. Like, what's that like? What is that space? What is that frame for you when you're dealing with life that way? And she just kind of smiled, and she's just like, well, I know where I'm going. And I know what I want to do every single day. And she's like, because life is so, it's not guaranteed. I don't have guaranteed of tomorrow. I'm going to spend my time doing what I love to do. It's why she came and jumped on a plane with her and her husband and flew here to Hawaii to spend time with us, because like, this could be the last, right? It could be the last. And I think when people get older, we expect it, right? We're like, okay, well, you lived a good life, right? How many times have you heard that at somebody who's in their 70s or 80s or 90s, when they pass away, they lived a long life? Well, we say good life. Sometimes we just mean they lived a long life, because I know plenty of people who pass away at an older age that didn't really live a good life, right? They didn't do the things they wanted to do. They didn't do the things. There's opportunities, potential that they didn't realize, things like that. But today's thought is just around this idea of being present, because you just never know. Like, I didn't realize that when I kissed my son, that was the last time. Uh, and I knew his death was coming, but I didn't know when, until I did know when. And then there was the last kiss, and I got to say goodbye to him, like, fully say goodbye. The last time. Not like he was going to school, not like he was going to hang out with the friends, not like he was going away to college. Nope, I got to say goodbye because he was going back home. And you never know when that's going to happen. You never know if you're going to get a warning. You never know if, when your wife leaves today, that she's coming back. and the big truck that's driving on the road is going to not be able to stop, and there's going to be an accident. We had somebody here on the island just tragically a couple of weeks ago. His wife was flying back home. He jumped in his car, driving down the little highway that takes you to the airport here in Kauai, and head-on collision on the way there. He never made it to the airport, and he passed away on his way to pick up his wife. Like, they had no idea that earlier, 3 days before, when she had jumped on a plane and he had dropped her off, that was the last time. That was the last time on this planet that they were going to be able to see each other. So I want you to take a look at your life. Take a look at your life around body, being, balance, and business, and start to look at what matters to you. What matters to you, really? Look at what you're spending your time doing. Look at the things that you're investing in. Look at the people that you're investing in. Where, especially this time of year, right? It's Christmas time. This is time for giving. It's time for Christ. We're celebrating Christ's birth. Believe it or not, guys, it's not Santa's birthday. We're celebrating Christ. And as we celebrate Christ and we celebrate what he truly did for us, and the opportunity that's presented because of that, I want you to just look at this idea. What are you doing today to make yourself as present as you possibly can? It's the only gift that actually matters this Christmas year or this season, is the gift of your presence. That's the present, is your present, to stay present, right? And it's not just present with yourself. It's not present with your phone that you're watching this on. It's literally present with those around you who love the most, your little ones, your little kiddos. You can't get these moments back. You cannot get them back. No matter what happens, you cannot get them back. And this could be your last Christmas. And if it was the last Christmas that you had with your children, what would you do? How would you treat them? Where would your patience be? How would you look at them if you knew this was it? And then even if this isn't it, and you get another 72 Christmases with them, what if you lived every single day as though this were the last time? You never left the house angry. There's like rules. You just made these rules about yourself. Because as a father who had to bury a son, I know what it's like to not be able to kiss him goodnight anymore. Like, I know what that feels like. I know what I experienced it. I walked through that darkness. And it's the darkest place a parent could ever go. Ever. There's nothing that compares. In my 44 years on this planet, everything else pales in comparison. There is no trial harder than that. Right? And it's really tough because it puts you in this real place of regret when you didn't live that way, when you realized there were opportunities that you could have spent time with them, you could have been more patient, you could have been, and that guilt and shame will eat you up. It will literally destroy you. I spent a decade trying to figure out how to rebuild my life just to stand up again. Just to stand up again and be a human being, to be able to be productive and to not want to just not live. To not want to just disappear and not exist anymore because the pain of losing my son and knowing that I had this guilt and I had this shame, and I had so much about me that it was hard for me to even stand up and get up out of bed. So I had to walk that path. I don't want you to have to walk that path. I had to learn how to build out of that. I don't want you to have to do that. So take a look at your family today. What can you do differently this time of year? This is obviously not my typical fire because it's less fiery and more just reflective. So if you even made it this far, good for you. Like, you're one of the few who isn't distracted by any shiny object that's throwing itself around, and you can hear and receive real content. So that's all I got for you. That's all I got for you on today's show. I appreciate you guys being listeners. If you got any value from today's show, share the show. Share the show up with somebody who needs this right now. A parent, a mom, a dad who's struggling, who maybe they need to hear this. They need to hear this, and they're under a lot of pressure and under a lot of stress, and they've forgotten why they're doing it. And when you forget why you do it, it's real easy to discount that reason, and then you find yourself in a world you don't want to be in. So that's all I got for you. This is your boy, Trevor J. White, reminding you that you're just one pivot away.